Welcome back to the Kevin O'Connor Show. Joining me today, Kirk Henderson from Mavs Moneyball and Sam Esfandiari from Light Years Ahead and Playback. How you guys doing today?
Saturday in Vegas. It could be a whole lot worse.
Yeah, life's going well right now.
I'm very happy life's going well for you right now. For the Warriors, they haven't done anything in this offseason, so we'll start with the Mavericks, Kirk Henderson's team. Kirk, Cooper Flagg had 31 points. We're recording this on Saturday, day 3 of Summer League. His best performance of the 2 we've seen him so far. Are you feeling love for the Dallas Mavericks again, watching this guy don a Mavericks uniform and dominate the way he has?
Yeah, it was fun. He got the line 13 times. They still made him bring up the ball for the second straight game. In 60 minutes of action, you have 2 games so far. He had, and I guess only 2 he's going to play. He only had 3 turnovers. And they were making him handle the ball a lot, putting him in isolation situations. I'm not sure how much that's really going to be part of what he does next year. But it was fun watching him just test sort of his limits. And he started off pretty slow, 1 for 4 to start. He finished the game, I think, 10 of 20. He only hit 8 of 13 free throws. But getting to the line is nice. And the willingness to take the 3. The shot looks good. There's so much to be excited about with him early on.
Sam, with Cooper Flagg, one of the things that stuck out to me are the 2 plays that don't even pop up in the box score. It's these 2 missed dunks he had.
Okay.
Where he just exploded at the rim, attacking closeouts. And I feel that Cooper might be a little bit more bouncy than we've seen. I'm thinking to myself how this guy is just out for blood attacking the basket. And so you think about Cooper Flagg fitting into the Mavericks ecosystem when it's the full NBA roster and not the Summer League roster. How much of an early impact do you see Cooper Flagg making for Dallas this year?
Yeah, so I was actually asking Kirk about this before we started recording. Their roster is very talented, but it's kind of weird. I think he's a 4 or 5 in the modern NBA in general.
He's the 4. He wants to be the 4.
But their best players all play those positions. AD, Lively, obviously he's going to play a gap. Keep going. So is he going to play the 3? Are they going to play him as an ISO wing? Because I don't think that's his game. I don't think he's Kevin Durant 2.0 in any capacity. And I'm just curious to see the way it plays out. I'm just as optimistic on him as you guys are, watching him. Sky is the ceiling for his talent.
The Mavericks need to reset their own external expectations because ever since they traded Luka Doncic, they keep talking about championship. Well, when you fail to miss the playoffs, or fail to make the playoffs, and then you land the number 1 overall draft pick, your timeline shifts. I don't care what you say externally. Internally, that just has to be the way it goes. So if they put an emphasis on building up Cooper's, let's just say his skill set, if they want him to be a playmaker, I think that's great for Cooper Flagg and great for the long-term Mavericks. What it won't be is good for win totals. And that's just sort of a fact of life. Rookies don't impact winning. Well, very, very rarely. And we've had some good ones the last 10 years. And so that's it. The roster part that Sam talks about is pretty important. They got a lot of stuff to suss out there. But it will at least be very weird. Sometimes we complain about the sameness of the NBA. And so now we're going to...
They're not like every other team, which is just trying to be 4 out.
No.
Spacing around.
It's like smash mouth basketball is what's going to happen. And they don't really have a lot of play initiators. But I'm looking forward to at least watching the weird.
It will be weird. And I think that's what makes it exciting, though, because it is different. But you mentioned with Cooper, if you invest in a rookie and you're trying to get him developed and all that, you know a lot about 2 timelines. Don't you, Sam?
Oh, what a transition. What a perfect podcast pairing to just juxtapose how bad this could go for Kirk.
So tell me, how bad could it go, considering your experience with the Golden State Warriors? And what are the risks in having a 2-timeline approach?
Well, I think there's a fundamental difference where the first timeline in Dallas hasn't won anything. So there's not a built-in there's not a built-in culture of this is the way we do things. We play this way, and it's your responsibility to fit into what we do. There's still very much a work in progress, figuring out who they are. I mean, Kyrie is even going to play this year. Maybe the second half of the season. That's kind of a big
he's becoming a very popular Twitch streamer.
Right.
Because they can make it.
He's a good streamer, by the way.
He is.
Yeah. Very, very, very compelling content. It's just conflicting priorities, conflicting agendas. Kirk mentioned it, but it's like at some point they're going to have to pick a path. It's either going to be like, we think this is Cooper's franchise, and when the right opportunity comes, maybe we move off of some veterans for guys who are more age appropriate to build with him with, or, we might be able to run the West when Kyrie comes back, and you know who's a great trade chip? Cooper Flagg, and go the other way.
No.
I don't want to give you PTSD, sorry. But like it is kind of like you can't do both things effectively. You try to do both things, you probably end up in the play-in.
I think that's a real possibility, considering how deep the Western Conference is. And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you guys on was the two timeline aspect.
Sure.
The other reason is I don't think either of your teams are winning anything this year. That's just the reality of it. I don't think either team is winning the championship.
Okay,
no matter the aspirations.
we're recording this pre-Al Horford. So
Pre-Al
if
Horford.
the Warriors get Al Horford, does that change your opinion?
Pre-Al Horford, pre-LeBron buyout.
Well, so it's
Hey, you could go to either of you guys, right? If that were to happen, you never know.
well,
Maybe we can timeshare him.
yeah. There we go. Have you seen any Warriors win totals so far? So what are they sitting at what you see?
48, 47.
Okay.
Under.
So the Mavericks are sitting at 38-41. Really?
Huh.
But it's one up from 38 to 41, which makes me wonder if that's being reflected in some of this LeBron nonsense that's out there in the ether. And we're recording this on a Saturday. I'm guessing this will probably go up in like a week, something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe the world will be wildly different by the time this is up. But the not winning something is important. Now, for the Mavericks in particular, I just don't really see another play-in would be, I just think, like kind of a waste. Like at a certain point, you have to use the assets that you have wisely, and that's the kind of guy they have log jams, but they do have good players. Most of the players that Sam's mentioned that are old,
They all play the same position.
they all play the same position, but they could also be effective on other teams.
Sure.
It's not like they have guys that are just kind of wasted contracts, which sometimes you see in the league.
I mean, look, Dallas has a ton of talent, undeniable, a lot of talent, and I just think there's too many ifs. If Kyrie Irving comes back, if Anthony Davis stays healthy, if Cooper Flagg is all-star caliber as a rookie, if this remade coaching staff is successful at all. They lost a lot of guys. So there's just so many ifs with Dallas, and with Golden State, what a weird summer. Like, nothing's happened at all. Jonathan Kuminga is still a restricted free agent.
Only team to not make a move. Like, they should get some credit for that. Yeah. Talk about stability. Just being patient.
So are you guys being literal? Like, they don't even have like a fringe minimum signing yet? They don't
Not
have
yet.
anything?
Nothing.
They're the only team who has not made a move.
Does that happen very often, or am I losing my mind?
I mean, I think they're just waiting on Horford, because that's going to be a domino with Kuminga.
It seems like everything hinges on them figuring out what happens with Kuminga. Is it a sign and trade? Does he come back? What is the number?
What's your prediction with him?
At this point, it's hard to predict anything other than him coming back, right? Like, it doesn't seem like there's a market for him. It seems like he wants more than the market is dictating. The Warriors don't want to give him more than they have to give him at this point. And so it feels like a waiting game. It feels the exact same as all the other restricted free agents. Like, nobody's trying to sign Josh Giddey. No one's trying to sign Quentin Grimes. And all those players, and Kuminga's in the same camp, need to come to the realization, like, I get it. The guy who was drafted in your class got 30, 40, 50 a year. You're not, like, you're still going to get paid. Don't worry about it. And so to the Warriors' point, it feels like until that is resolved, nothing else really gets opened up.
No, I feel for Kuminga in some ways, because you enter restricted free agency, you'd think the Nets would want you, right? A team, a clean slate, but even they didn't want him. And I think it has to be a reality check for him in some sense that, like, okay, wait a minute. Of all the things that I've shown and all the things that I haven't shown that I believe I can show, still nobody wants me. And so for him, I wonder, is it possible at all, Sam, that he goes back to Golden State with a new mindset and embraces what Steve Kerr wants him to be as like a Sean Marion type of player? Or is this just pure delusion, because this is a guy that everything we've ever heard about Kuminga is that he just wants to be star, go-to scorer type, and that's all.
I mean, anything is possible, but probable is what you're talking about. And the more likely scenario is it'll be the same thing we've seen for the last 3-4 seasons. Like, why would you think it would change?
No reason to think it would.
He's publicly stated, like, and by the way, you can look at this as a positive. Like, he wants responsibility. He wants to see if he can be the man, that sort of thing. He feels like he's been limited by the Warriors. I would argue the opposite. I would argue they put him in situations that make him look better than he is. And, you know, you don't see some of the weaknesses because he's always off ball and just kind of taking advantage of, you know, Steph's gravity or whatever it may be, right? But I can also understand the young player perspective of, I just want to see. I want to have the opportunity that my G League Ignite teammate Jalen Green had. I want to have the opportunity to see if I can average 20 this league. I want to have the opportunity to see if I can be an all-star, those sort of things. And that's actually where I would say all the frustration in Warrior Land comes from. They're essentially holding him hostage because he is an asset in terms of they took him in the lottery. He does have value, but he doesn't have value to their team based on the way he wants to play. And it's just how many years in a row of, okay, we'll trade him if we can get a star. No one's giving us a star for him, so let's keep him. And meanwhile, he's like unhappy with his role, and the coaching staff, they don't really believe in him. No, I don't really care what they say publicly. Their actions show you.
Right.
They think he's nice, but they don't believe in him, if that makes sense. It's just, it feels like how many more years in a row of this do we have to do?
Kirk, would your opinion of the Warriors change if they get Al Horford at all with what they could do next season?
No, but you do have to like it as a. I mean, if we're talking 48 wins, that's a pretty good baseline. It's
That's what they won last year.
It's a little bit like there's a movie that came out as like Space Cowboys that had like Clint Eastwood. It's like a bunch of old guys.
Yeah,
like the old guys in the West. That narrative and storyline is at least fun.
It is,
and it's
fun.
Guys, and it's a weird culture.
Let's get Chris Paul. Let's get Chris Paul too.
Let's never get Chris Paul ever again. Please, never. No more Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul with Mike Breen. That's what we should see next year.
That might be where we're headed.
I just can't believe, just from me as a guy that watched Sean Marion become the Sean Marion who could maybe be a Hall of Famer at some point if the NBA ever wakes up. To say that I'm not that interested in because that was Marion's problem. Marion wanted to be the star. And then when he eventually got moved to Dallas, he accepted that role, and then they won titles. Like, he was a hugely important part of that. I find that so strange to be like, I want a different. I know Sam said he thinks that it's interesting that he wants responsibility, but he's saying, well, I don't want that responsibility. I want this responsibility. It's like, that's not how teams function.
And by the way, like OKC just won the title, and I would argue one of the biggest reasons they won the title is the guys who do those jobs take pride in doing those jobs, you know? And when the Warriors were like dynastic and good, they had guys who, like Andre Iguodala might make the Hall of Fame because he did that stuff. He
should, yeah.
He did.
Well, I bet.
He buying into your role is kind of an underrated thing. And it frustrates me that the Warriors are still doing this dance with a guy who clearly he has a different idea of how he wants his career to go. And that's fine. But your job as management is to read the room and make the best decision for your team instead of kicking the can down the road and like, maybe this will be the year that he gets the message that he clearly does not want to get.
This is true for players of all different degrees. Role players, the Kuminga types that are still trying to prove something, but also for stars, right? I mean, like you mentioned it with OKC, Jalen Williams in certain teams would get more touches, but he's playing behind SGA. He accepts that. Chet Holmgren is playing behind both of those guys. He's embracing playing hard on defense. Jaylen Brown, we mentioned Kyrie's Twitch stream earlier this week. He talked on that with Kyrie saying how we haven't seen Jaylen Brown at his best because of the sacrifice required with those Celtics teams. So I think when it comes to playing winning basketball, that's part of it. Like sometimes you need to take a lesser load. You need to do different things. You need to hit a spot up three and not be the guy who's the ISO scorer. That's part of what's required in order to play winning basketball. You saw this. You've experienced more winning with the Warriors than anybody in this building with the Warriors this past decade. You see that with so many different iterations.
When everyone is bought in and comfortable with their role, like, you know, sky's the limit for what the potential of a team is. And the Warriors are, you could say, experiencing the other side of the NBA ever since they started this 2 timeline project where it's like, I get it. It's like, all right, your core is getting older. You want to supplement them with young players, and your goal is going to be to develop around them. But not every young player is down for that. You have to have the right young players. You have to have players who understand their role. Their skill set makes sense there. You mentioned Jalen Williams. He could get more touches on another team. From what I can see, he seems very happy in the role he's in OKC. He seems very happy being the second option who defends his ass off and kind of plays off of Shea. Like that's a part of it too. He's not out there going like, man, if I had my own team, I could average 30. Like it doesn't.
Like Kuminga's doing.
Exactly. And like Kuminga is honestly, I think he'd honestly be thrilled if he was the second option on the Warriors. But they're looking at it from the perspective of like, okay, Steph. Jimmy's clearly the second best player on this team who are going to run offense through, and we need you to play off of them, which means being a better spot-up shooter, cutting, just being active off ball really is what they always ask of him. Like, be active off ball defensively and offensively. Like, use your athleticism. You should lead the team in rebounding because you're more athletic than everyone, that sort of stuff. And it just, young guy, kind of bored, wants to take shots.
And to me, I think that's one of the things most exciting about Cooper Kirk, because with Cooper Flagg, when he's on the floor with AD and hopefully with Kyrie at some point, he can impact the game in a winning way across the board. We've seen this already in Summer League.
And it might not necessarily be the sort of thing that fills the box score. It's going to be rolling to the basket. It's going to be sealing Draymond Green going to get a rebound and letting Anthony Davis wreak havoc. It's going to be playing in the passing lanes and effectively sort of shutting off parts of the floor. There's just a lot of stuff about Flagg that Summer League is not a good demonstratable way of how he's going to be used and playing. And so if you were a little underwhelmed by Flagg as a Mavs fan, I'm just telling you, there's more to this guy's game, and the way he fits with the other forwards, they're going to accentuate one another. The Mavericks challenge comes offensively and maybe kind of ball movement and things like that. But, the way Flagg plays is he wants to win. He wants to win at any cost, is what I've been told. Like and I mean this in a positive way, he's a basketball psychopath, is what people have told me. And that sort of, you see it as ice. Like when he attacks the limb, there's like he intends to do harm when he goes to dunk. Players like that are more rare than you'd think it. So I'm really excited about what he can do, and seeing what sort of role he's willing to accept his rookie year. It's going to be exciting.
The other thing that I just want to throw this out there, it's crazy to me how young he is. Because if you watch him play, he plays like a veteran. Like, maybe he can get better with his shot and like skill development the way that every player can. But I was just like, in terms of feel, the stuff you're talking about, like intuitively understanding when to seal a guy because someone's driving to the left, like intuitively understanding how to play off of other guys. Like, he plays like a veteran, and that's a very rare quality for, what is it, 18?
18 years old. He turned 18 in December, midway through the college year.
One of my favorite things Nikola Jokic does is sometimes he will miss shots on purpose in a way to get himself a better shot because he can go get the offensive rebound. Flagg's not quite that good, but he's the kind of cerebral person who I think can and will probably try to do things like that. So
I completely understand the KG comp for him. While I don't think it's completely accurate because KG was like 3 to 4 inches taller,
mental aspect.
It's the way he plays the game. Yeah, the mental aspect, just like the way he processes the game, the priorities he has on the floor. Like he seems like the type of guy who's going to be just as happy if it's like 15 points, 15 rebounds, and we win, as opposed to like 40 to 50 points in a way.
Last thing, Sam, would you trade Jimmy Butler for LeBron James?
That's an off-record question.
Would you want LeBron James in a Warriors jersey next season?
Wants a different word than
hope for, desire.
I think if it's on the table, it happens because Steph will want it to happen. And I'm just going to, I'll flip-flop and be like, what do you mean? I always wanted. What are you talking about,
Turk, would you trade a PJ Washington plus Daniel Gafford plus
that's a different
ABC salary package for LeBron, or are you just the buyout route for LeBron James.
I actually think a trade package will clear up some of the Mavericks' problems.
Interesting.
Because they have so many forwards, and you just suggested trading a forward and a center for him. If you, it's kind of a logical thing for me. Now they would have less depth, but LeBron fixes your ball handling problem. Now, he maybe doesn't want to be Magic Johnson. Sorry, buddy, you're going to be late stage Magic if you're on the Dallas Mavericks. Also for my podcasts and websites, like if having LeBron James would help a great deal. For my basketball soul, no, I don't want it.
Okay. Is that how you feel with your basketball soul? Is that it?
Yeah. I like.
I don't want to have to root for LeBron.
Part of me appreciates the fact that clearly Steph and LeBron, like, they want to play together before they retire. They just don't know how to do it in a way that fulfills both of their, egos, basically. Yeah. Like, that's definitely there. But the other part of me is like, I kind of like what they have going with Jimmy. I kind of love the idea of not doing it and seeing if they can figure it out. So,
Sam, Kirk, thank you guys for joining me today.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.